Forget it.
Well, I guess my question is, how does an activist get started in this business? How did you come over here and get started?
I got into, from college, I accidentally got into a Broadway play called Tiaras of the August Moon. And I traveled in Tiaras of the August Moon for 700 performances with some of the greatest actors in the world, from Gig Young to Burgess Meredith, and on and on and on. And then I went back to New York in 1957, and I was studying in Chicago while I was doing the play in New York. Yeah, Chicago.
That's where I'm from.
Anyway, so I went back in 1957, and my first job I went out on was, I'd never acted in English, no, you know, only in Tiaras of the August Moon, you yell, Banzai! You know, all that kind of stuff, you know. Ikaka desu ka-san, you know. Here my ghetto kid doing Japanese, right? So, anyway,
like, this is a change.
Anyway, so I went up and for the part of a houseboy.
Okay.
And the director, who was an Academy Award director, William Wyler, looked at me and he said, "What have you done?" And I said, "Well, I just finished a Broadway play, which was the truth, you know, and I've studied in Chicago at Goodman Theater."
Right.
He gave me the script. He says, "You know what, here, you go home and come back and read for the lead role." Came back, read for the lead role, got the part. It was with Michael Rennie, Sir John Mills. It was John Mills who became, you know, he was knighted, so he became Sir John Mills. And Anna Mae Wong, who he got out of retirement because this man had won an Academy Award for directing Somerset Maugham's The Letter. And Anna Mae Wong was in it, and I played the confidential blackmailer. So it was my first job.
Wow.
On camera, live.
Wow.
Live, 90-minute live, which meant that if you messed up, there's nothing you could have done. There was no film television at that point. Now, I went ahead and I did a couple of other shows, GE Theater with Betty Davis, you know, some walk-on things. And then I got a break. They were looking for a 45-year-old man to play the husband of Shirley Yamaguchi, who was the leading Japanese actress in the 50s, House of, she was Bamboo and all that stuff. And I went up to say, "You're too young," you know. They couldn't find anybody else. I ended up with the role.
Awesome.
So I'm 20 years old and she's 40 years old and I have the lead. And the movie was about a Japanese doctor who studied in the United States, met his wife who's Japanese, studying, and they find an American washed up on the beach, and the Japanese obviously was in the service, was in the army, so he had to do something. And it was written by Pearl Buck. So Pearl Buck was a Nobel Peace Prize winner. Anyways, 3 days later, I'm home and I get a call. "Hi, we'd like you to come out to Hollywood and we'll pay you $500 a week." I said, "Well, you know, thank you very much, sir." You know, I thought it was one of my friends, you know. Give me my. I said, "You know, I've never been to Hollywood, you know, but I don't know anything about movies, so, you know, thank you very much." 3 days later, I got a call. "We pay you $1,000 a week. This is Hollywood. Can you be on a plane on Friday night?" I was on a plane.
I'm sure you were.
I came out to her here, and I had one of the leads in a movie starring Joanne Woodward, who won the Academy Award in '57, and Tony Randall, and Jeffrey Hunt, and a whole bunch of people.
Wow.
And that was my beginning of my movie career from 1957.
That's exciting.
And then I did, you know, Never So Few with Sinatra in '61, and I've done about 125 movies and television.
Awesome.
And so, now, the thing that is terribly important is that I've been in this business for 50 years, and I've been an activist. I also was in the music business, and because at the time I gave up the business in '66 because of the racism that had evolved, and I had starred in movies, I'd starred in television, and the roles were not, they were becoming less, they were becoming more stereotypical.
Yeah.
Having been a singer and a hit singer, I was the first Asian black man on the top 100.
Right.
I went into the music business. I became the foreman of the chairman of the Fraternity of Recording Executives, which was the only organization that was organized to put blacks in the business. And I was whiteballed. Now, you know what whiteballed is?
So that means,
do you know what whiteballed means?
So that everybody's listening to you, as opposed to being blackballed, you were like green light.
No, as to being blackballed, brothers and blacks had no power.
Right.
Whitey had the power.
Exactly.
So I was whiteballed because I was too smart. Because what I was trying to do was get parity. Barry Gordy and I had my own record company before that. We used to try to get involved in trying to get black music.
Right.
To tell you how rough it is, I sold 1.5 million Get on the Good Foot James Brown without white airplay. There were times when white stations never played black music.
Oh yeah,
There was a conspiracy completely, okay? So here am I, they don't know what I am. I'm sitting in the corporate meetings when they're putting down the brothers and all that stuff, and I'm just, you know, I'm one of them, but I'm just, they don't know what I'm doing. I'm the spy, I'm the yellow spook that's still by the side of the door anyways.
Right.
You don't know about the book anyways, right?
The book?
You know the book,
No.
the spook who sat beside the door?
No.
Well, that was the first one of the African Americans who was a CIA agent that couldn't get in the inside. He was, but they kept him outside. It was made into a movie, by the way, and I think they banned it.
What?
Anyways.
Oh, well, I was about to say we're
That's
gonna
some of
get
your
the
young
book.
people should go and find the movie, because it's a great movie. Anyways,
What's the name of the movie? Tell us again.
well, I don't know. It was the spook who sat outside the door.
Okay.
Something like that, yeah.
So we have to research that.
Okay, anyway, so.
That's our mission.
Okay, so I'm sorry. So what else did you ask me about how people should get in? No, look.
Well, I really. What is your goal right now? What is your main goal?
Well, as having been an activist and fighting, you know, eventually I did, in the music business, I did, for some of the older audience, I became a manager because I couldn't get a job. Back in the day, there was no black record distributors. There was no One Stop. I fought to get free goods to give to the shops because it was much easier. We used to give 300 free for every 1,000, and I would go into the neighborhood, break the records, and the little black stores never got the benefit of the promotion. So therefore, the prices in the neighborhood was much higher than downtown. So we were being raped and robbed because it was cheaper for you to go downtown to buy the record than to buy it in the, you know, back in your own neighborhood.
Yeah.
So that was the reason that's why they whiteballed me, because they didn't want to give any of the, you know. Anyway, so to make a long story short, I couldn't find a job, and I got into management, and I managed a couple of people, and one of my shining things is having a gold record for a guy named Norman Connors, You Are My Starship.
Mm.
And I discovered Phyllis Hyman along the way. I mean, I discovered Barry White. I was managing Barry White. I mean, going back to, I re-energized Lou Rawls' career. Bobby Womack, Fly Me to the Moon. I mean, James Brown. I can go on and on and on.
Wow.
Because being part of the black music historical thing in this country, I was responsible for moving that music, you know, forward. I believe that Barry Gordy should be given the Nobel Peace Prize. And the reason I say that is because he put black music into the white bedrooms of America and started the revolution in terms of coming together. And of course, rap now is 70% white that buys the music. Back in the day, we never had an opportunity to get into the white marketplace.
Right.
So
But we should